Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Right from the start I apologize because I completely forgot to take my microphone with me, so I have to stay very close to the camera and I have to scream so that you can hear me. So I apologize for the audio in this video, but I'm on my in-laws balcony. I have recently gave you guys a tour of this balcony, showed you how the things are looking at the beginning of summer, but now we are at the end of June. It's been really hot. It's like 36 degrees Celsius right now, so it's really hot, really sunny. We have some empty containers, and in those empty containers we are gonna plant some new flowers today. We went to the garden center and we picked some flowers that can support drought better, that don't require as much water. So I'm gonna show you what we chose, and hopefully that will be a little inspiration for you if you also have a sunny balcony. So let me show you what we bought and then where we are gonna plant it. Okay, so by now you probably know how their balcony looks, more or less, but just to give you a quick update, lantanas are doing exceptionally well. They are really great for sunny balcony. They tolerate heat and they tolerate drought, which we can say the same about Calibrachoa and petunias. They wilt pretty quickly, and my parents-in-law have a hard time keeping them well watered. As you can see, a lot of them are looking really sad and really wilted. When we turn this direction, the rose is blooming. I mean, this is the type of rose that blooms in, like, it has several flashes of blooms, so it's just past its first flash and just starting to bloom again. A region, Carvinscanus on the floor, is not blooming right now, which is a little bit strange because usually a region just blooms non-stop throughout the summer. But perhaps, as I said, maybe it's a drought problem, maybe they don't fertilize it enough. And then we have two boxes with zinnias. This box is doing quite okay. I mean, the zinnias are flowering. It's the Cresto Peachy Pink, but these guys are just looking really sad. So both of the zinnia containers have powdery mildew, which is nothing special. Like, zinnias, they always catch powdery mildew, like, that's inevitable. People think that it's actually wet conditions that cause powdery mildew, where in fact it's drought. Like, if you keep your plants too dry in the root zone, like if you don't water them enough, and then if they are like somewhere in the corner, they don't have good airflow, that's the easiest way for your plants to catch powdery mildew. So keep them well watered, but avoid wetting the leaves, because once the powdery mildew is already present and you wet the leaves, that's gonna just the disease will spread quicker. So I'm gonna keep that container. I'm gonna try to do my best. I'm gonna do my best to save it. These guys have to go. Okay, so we went to the garden center and we picked some beautiful Begonia semperflorens. These are amazing. They resist really well to all kinds of conditions. I've seen them so many times planted like in public spaces, like roundabouts and stuff like that, in the city center, and they always bloom amazing and they are very resistant. So we bought a mix of red and pink ones, and I'm gonna be planting them in this container. And then we have a beautiful Gara. Unfortunately, I don't know the name of the cultivar because it's not even written on the pot, but it has white flowers with a bit of pink, like pink tinged ends of petals. Garas are great. They are great for landscape. They are great for pots. It grows like a mound, like a mass, let's say, mass of leaves, and they have those long bloom stalks, and they have those little flowers at the top. So it's gonna have beautiful cloud of pinkish white flowers, and I'm gonna be planting it in one of those pots. Okay, and the last plant that we bought is this beautiful Dipladenia. Dipladenias are sort of climbing plants, but they're not like large climbers, but they can climb a little. Like, if you give them some small bamboo trellis or a bamboo support, they're beautifully gonna climb. There are different colors of Dipladenias. Usually you can find them as white, reds, or pinks. They have different forms of flowers. This one is quite unusual. I don't think I have ever seen one like this. It has beautiful kind of jasmine-like flowers, and it's a Dipladenia fusion, Tokyo Mini. That's the name of this one. And Dipladenias are great for sunny locations, for very hot, sunny balcony, because they tolerate drought really well. They have those very thick, glossy leaves, and thanks to this, they don't lose moisture as quickly. For example, as you can see, the soil is completely dry, but the plant doesn't look wilted at all. It blooms beautifully. So that's also a great plant to add to your sunny balcony if you are searching for something that would be drought tolerant, that wouldn't require as much water. First, let's save those zinnias. As I said with powdery mildew, if you want to prevent powdery mildew, first of all, keep your plants well watered. If your plants are grown in dry conditions, that's what's gonna cause powdery mildew. So keep your plants well watered, but avoid wetting the leaves. If you wet the leaves, that will help the disease to spread further in your garden and further on other plants. So once you notice powdery mildew, pinch off all the affected leaves. Here we have a lot of affected leaves, like pretty much the entire plant is affected. It's also really important to give your plants good airflow. If they are too much squeezed in the corner, or if you have too many plants growing in the same container, if they don't have good airflow around them, that can also promote powdery mildew. And lastly, obviously fertilize your plants well, because if you give your plants all it needs, it's gonna grow healthy and it's gonna be strong and it's gonna be more resistant to any pest or disease attacks. Okay, so I removed all the most affected leaves there on the floor here. I'm gonna throw them to my trash bag. It will not prevent the disease from developing because, as I said, it's pretty much everywhere. But by removing the most affected leaves, you kind of slow down the spread of the disease, and hopefully that's gonna boost the plants a little, and they are gonna, not only they are gonna look better, but hopefully that will kind of boost them and they will grow better as well. I'm gonna give them as I said, a good soak, a good dose of fertilizer, and hopefully, they are gonna last for at least a couple more weeks, hopefully even longer than that. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm gonna plant the dipladenia in here, because this way it can kind of climb up and mix with this jasmine that is no longer blooming. And here I'll plant Gora. This rose is getting a little bit huge, but yeah, I think the Gora will fit in here, and Gora is quite soft, so it can spill a little bit up front. So let's do this. I personally don't like when plants are planted in a straight line, like in a straight row. Obviously, if that's some concept and it all fits together, that's fine, that's beautiful. But when we talk about containers or just like flower borders, I really don't like when the same type of plant is planted in one straight row. It looks really unnatural in my opinion. So what I like to do is I put one plant up, one down, one up, one down, to give a little bit more dimension to the container and also to make it look a little bit more natural, if that makes sense, if you know what I mean. Because if I were to just plant them in a straight row, I feel like that would look awkward, and this way it kind of looks more interesting. Okay you guys, so it's all planted, so now I just have to water everything, but before I do it and before I make a huge mess with water, I'm gonna show you how the things are looking. Okay, so here it is. As you see, we stayed in like pinkish and reddish tones. So on the second thought, I decided to put back the trellis, the little, bamboo sticks for the dipladenia, because I feel like when I attached it to the trellis behind, it looked kind of flat. So for now, I put the trellis, the bamboo sticks, and if they don't like it, if they prefer the dipladenia to climb up the trellis, they can do that. So Gora is in here and it looks really pretty. The sun is shining really bright, so you can't quite see the real colors, but it is a really delicate pink color. I feel like it looks really nice with this like a little bit darker pink rose here. And on the floor we have begonias. So I'm not sure if I mentioned at the beginning, so Gora is a perennial plant, so they can keep it for several years, so that's great. It's always nice to add more perennial plants to your garden. The Pladenia will not survive winter, so we treat it as a seasonal plant in here. Same goes for begonias, but begonias, they are really resistant. They will survive until the first frost, and even the light frost, they can handle it. Once you plant them, you have to keep them well watered at the beginning, so give them time to establish, but after, you don't really have to worry. I mean, you will still have to water all of the plants frequently in summer, but far less than, for example, petunias or calibrachoas. Okay, you guys, so it's done, and it's gonna be the end of this a bit more casual video. I know there's nothing really special, but I wanted to share with you a few ideas on what you can plant on your sunny balcony, something that will not require a lot of water. Also hope that you found those few tips that I shared about powdery mildew helpful. So yeah, thank you for joining me today, and I will see you again next Saturday. Bye!